Hey guys, it's Dan, Book McNugget, and let's talk about Dune, the Butlerian Jihad. And this book is a reread for me. Of course, this is written by Brian Herbert, who is the son of Frank Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. Now, I know and I understand there are some people who are just of that particular camp where they just don't really think that the books written by Frank's son, Brian, are canon. Okay, I can understand that, and, I can totally see, why someone may feel that way. But I'm going to tell you, if you are someone who has read the original Dune series by Frank Herbert, you've read it and you have questions. You want to know why. Why is it that in the world of Dune, the technology is so limited? How is it that they have space travel, but like other sci-fi worlds like Star Wars, there just aren't any robots? Why is that? How did this come about? How did they get to this point and their history? That's where I'm going to say that this is the oldest in the chronology, timeline-wise, of the Dune universe. This is as far back as the books go. Now, I'm going to say there are some people who feel like because this is the earliest point in history for the Dune universe, they feel like that you need to start and read from here to fully understand the Dune universe. I'm going to say no, you should not do that. Don't do that, because if you do that, you're really not going to understand. You're going to be like, well, who are these people? What is going on? I feel like in order to really understand and appreciate the universe of Dune in its entirety, I think you need to read the original books by Frank Herbert. Read those first, and then go back and read the prequels before. And I'm not saying that not everybody has to read the prequels, but if you're one of those people who's like, why is the universe of Dune like this? Why is it the way it is? You're going to want to go back and check out these prequels. These prequels, I refer to them, I think they're the Butlerian Jihad trilogy is what they might be known as, but like I said, this goes way back in time when Earth is still a planet. We have, the free humans, and then we have like enslaved humanity where there's humans who are enthralled. There's slaves to Omnius, who is the Evermind. He is basically just it's an artificial intelligence that has taken over Earth. And not only has it taken over Earth, but it has set up copies of itself on what are called the synchronized worlds. And the synchronized worlds are also held and protected and checked by other humans. But these humans are different. They're called Cymex, where there are human brains implanted in robotic bodies. And they're almost kind of like cyborgs, but the only part of them that's human is the brain, and the brain's encased in gel circuitry fluid. And it kind of, it's really different, interesting concept. And these Cymex, there's 20 of them, are known as the Titans, and they kind of help the Omnius control, and it helped to kind of solidify their control over the synchronized worlds. So that was kind of interesting in its own regards as well. We learn about ancient families like the Harkonnens, and we learn about the origin of the Atreides family. And once you learn the origin of the Atreides family, which is really interesting because they are descended from a Titan, a Cymic Titan named Agamemnon. And I thought it makes for a really different kind of conflicting kind of origin story for who's supposed to be the future hero of the Dune universe. Now, this is roughly around 600 some odd pages. I think Goodreads had said that it was 684 pages. It's not that long. This is the hardcover Sci-Fi Club book edition, or the Tor edition. Yes, this is the Tor edition. And the first time around that I read this, I thought this was a 5-star book. I gave this a 5-star book just because the whole concept of it behind it. So we have the main heroine of Serena Butler, and that's hence the Butlerian Jihad. And we have, you know, the Harkonnens, and we have the Atreides, and we have a number of other families and other important characters that we're introduced to while we're reading this. And the first go-around, I was really super impressed with this book. It was nice to see why the Dune universe does not rely on artificial intelligence, especially in regards to their space exploration and transportation and all that. It really kind of helps solidify why they're so adamant against technology. It really helps to enforce that and to understand why, just why the people of the Dune universe are against technology. You kind of really, you know, feel for them after reading this. Like I said, this is just book 1 in the Het trilogy. Yeah, the first time around, I gave this a 5 out of 5 star rating. Now, this being my second time around reading this, I feel like it's more warranted of a 4 out of 5 star rating, just because I find it a little hard to believe that a narcissistic kind of robot by the name of Erasmus, that such a being, a creature of artificial intelligence, would be so spiteful and do things in the way of actions that he has done near the end of this book. I kind of find that to be a little unbelievable now, having read this a second time around. So that's why I decided to change my rating of this book from a 5 out of 5 to a 4 out of 5 star rating. I feel like that was kind of weak in regards, and especially after having read the very ending of the Dune Universe series, it kind of helped reinforce this as a 4 out of 5 star rating for me. Now, I gotta say, if you are a fan of Star Wars, you might want to read the Dune series, because, let's face it, baby, if it wasn't for Dune, we would not have Star Wars. Just throwing that out there. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't think that if it wasn't for Dune, we would not have the Star Wars universe and the wide franchise that the Star Wars universe has become. But yes, very, very good series. You know, this is something, if you've read all the other books by Frank Herbert, you want to know why things are the way they are, and you want to learn about family history of certain main characters from the Dune universe, this is where it's at. This also explores the origin of the Fremen on Dune and the spice trade. It also kind of leads up into the different, like the Guild and all of that, and the Bene Gesserit. It also kind of solidifies, and you see the early workings and origins of these groups. So I'm going to say, definitely hands down, if you're someone who wants to learn more about the Dune universe, this is where it's at. You need to go back and check these out. Of course, as always, for you folks in the U.S., I will have a link to Amazon to pick up a copy of this for yourselves. Any and all items purchased through those links greatly help my channel, as I'm not receiving AdSense. If you can't help out, like perhaps you live in a different region of the world and you just cannot purchase anything through the Amazon links, please by all means help support my channel by donating to my Ko-fi, which I will have a link to that below as well. And if you came here looking for book reviews and book recommendations, please hit that subscriber button while you're there, hit that notification bell. This has been Dan. This has been Dune, the Butlerian Jihad, by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. And I gotta throw out there, Kevin J. Anderson is kind of a fun action-adventure kind of writer. He makes everything that much more thrilling and that much more enjoyable, especially if you are a fan of Star Wars. I feel like his writing makes this much more fun than if it was just Brian Herbert writing it. That's all. Let's leave it at that. I've spoke my piece. That's it. Till next time, guys, this has been Dan. Stay healthy and be good to each other.